Okay, good afternoon. I'm in a really interesting spot today. I'm at the Battle of Shiloh, right outside of Shiloh, Tennessee, where a major, crazy battle happened here in the Civil War. Um, in the beginning of the Civil War, you had Ulysses S. Grant, future president, take over with the U.S. Army, and you had all the regiments, all the battalions from both sides, from the Confederate side and the U.S. Army side, here fighting in this huge. I'm telling you, if this is probably besides Gettysburg, this is probably the best battlefield to check out because it's huge. It goes for miles around, and you just drive around, and they have all the different spots, and it tells you each spot where this is where this division was, and this is who was fighting right here. Now it would have looked like where all those trees are like that. It would have looked all like that. There wouldn't have been hardly any openings, so they were having to shoot through trees with the cannons, with the muskets. And right here, you had the Army of Tennessee. It says here, they were positioned from 4:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Sunday, April 6, 1862. So 1862, this is at the beginning of the Civil War. The Battle of Franklin and Nashville and all that happened in 1864. Now, you see that April 6th, the Civil War ended on April 9th, which just happens to be my birthday. And I just find that really interesting. But you can just walk around, and it's like when you look at these cannons, these are the cannons from then, right here, 1862. This is one of the cannons from then, and this is ready to go. I find this one interesting, how it's gone like this bluish green color sitting here, and same 1862. And as you walk around out here, you'll just see these cannons are just placed all over the place. And where I'm walking right now, Civil War battle happened right here. I'm talking, they were shooting and firing, boom, boom, boom. People were dying in these trees. They were dying over there. This is like the number one battlefield. If you're into history, Civil War history, what is America all about? What happened? This is it. And man, you can literally just go hiking and check all this out, and it's free. And there's not many people here, and I just find it crazy that we can come out here and check it out. Okay, the Army of Tennessee, it says they were over here too. This was Wallace's 2nd Division. Now, this is historic area right here, and it's so awesome they preserved all this. It's really beautiful out here. The mossy ground, it's kind of swampy. We're right by the Tennessee River. And let y'all know, there's also Indian burial mounds here at Shiloh. Shiloh is a Hebrew word that means peace, and obviously there was no peace here. A lot of war, a lot of death happened. Here's the Army of Ohio. So you would have had the Army of Ohio positioned here, fighting those guys over there. Wow, this is crazy to think about. You can kind of see the cannons positioned there, and the cannons positioned there to shoot in the woods here. Pretty damn good on top of that little hill right here. And you can tell that was a strategic position. I'm gonna go over and check over these cannons over here. These are legit, the cannons. Pretty awesome. You can see how they built up this fortification here, and just cannons lined up. Look at that, crazy, just crazy. Now, these are some big bad boys right here. They're a lot bigger than the ones over there. This one's got some, dang, it's got bees living in it. I'll get away from that. The siege guns. These are from the Army of Tennessee. Look how big this one is. Imagine what it took to carry that, to pull that. That is just incredible. And the bees live in them now. Well, look at this little stubby right here. Man, that is a little stubby. So cool. This is an amazing battlefield, people. Look at this behind me over here. More bees living in this one too. Wow. Well, it's humid as hell out here today, and I'm surrounded by cannonballs and Civil War monuments and memorials in this crazy battlefield of Shiloh here in Shiloh, Tennessee. Man, it feels heavy. You can feel heaviness and just it's real heavy here. I mean, it's so beautiful. I mean, it is just really beautiful. It was raining. See those clouds over there. But we got some sun coming back on that side, and really amazing spot. And I just got here. I'm only in the front. There's so much I want to see. You know, so many amazing people from this Battle of Shiloh here. Everybody from future President Ulysses S. Grant, who was general of the U.S. Army, leading, 27,000 soldiers at once, a great American hero, to somebody like Nathan Bedford Forrest, who Nathan Bedford Forrest was on the Confederate side, and he was actually the first leader of the KKK. And really interesting story about that guy is he was a slave trader before the Civil War, and he would go out to Georgia on the coast and buy slaves cheap, and then come over here to Tennessee in this area and sell them for a higher price. That was the name of his game. And so many slaves knew of this guy, of Nathan Bedford Forrest, that when he died, because he survived the Civil War and went on to live his life in Memphis, Tennessee. And when he died, I think it was something like 2,000 slaves or former slaves showed up at his house when he died, not to mourn his death, but to make sure he was dead. That was the thing. And pretty interesting story, but he was here and he fought in this battle, and we're about to go over to the Pittsburghs Landing on the Tennessee River, and that's where you had a lot of these soldiers that came in from the U.S. Army. They came in on old steamboats, which must have been a crazy sight to see, at that time. And we have Native American mounds here. About to check those out too. Now this monument right here is pretty awesome because it's in the shape of one of those mini bullets, those mini balls, like I found in the river just north of here. And man, this is the actual shape of one. 1, 2, 3, a 3-ring mini bullet. And just imagine shooting through here. This is what it looked like when those Confederates and the U.S. Army, when they were fighting each other, they were fighting through that thicket of woods, trying to hit somebody with your musket. And it was bloody. There's the bloody pond here I'm going to check out too. And the pond is where the wounded went to clean their gunshots or whatever, how they were hurt. And there were so many guys dressing the wounds there that the whole pond was red from blood. So they call it the Blood Pond. And that's here too. Sun's coming out now. Beautiful. Okay, this is Pittsburghs Landing. This is right here on the Tennessee River, Shiloh. The Shiloh National Cemetery is right there on that hill above me. And this is where Ulysses S. Grant would have came in on the U.S. Navy steamboats. And just imagine these steamboats coming in carrying all these soldiers here to fight in this crazy battle. And they were lined up for miles on this side of the river fighting the Confederates. And there's hardly anybody out here. It's beautiful. And I've found this spot right here on Pittsburghs Landing where Ulysses S. Grant walked right here. Right here. Grant was an amazing leader and really could command an army and get them from here to there. And he got them here, and it didn't work right away. The Confederates, they were tricky with how they fought, and it took time. But I'm going to take my time because my family and my wife did bless me on Father's Day with the personal memoirs of U.S. Grant, the book that was written by Mark Twain, helped Ulysses S. Grant write this book at the end of his life. And this is the first edition copy from 1894. And this book was really expensive, almost $600 for this book. It's 2 volumes, but I brought the first volume out here. Thank you to my wife. Thank you so much for getting this for me for Father's Day. And I'm going to sit on this tree and I'm going to read a few chapters of the U.S. Grant book. And right here where he walked, perfect moment. Look at this, so quiet, all you can hear is the birds as I'm wearing my Andrew Jackson t-shirt. Okay, I'm kind of back here behind the visitor center, and it looks like these are the carriers for the cannons, and these are ones that have broken. As you can see, here's like a broken part of this wheel, and good God, that thing's heavy. That's straight metal. Look at that. That's straight metal from one of these cannons. That is pretty awesome. Look at that. Just laying here. That's part of the wheel. And these would have cannons on them, but I guess this is like the graveyard of where the carriers go to die. But all these still look, oh, that one looks broken. Yeah, you can tell that one's wobbly. So there's probably an issue to each one of these. Oh, there's some of them, this looks brand new. Wow. Pretty cool just back here. Never seen that many. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14 different cannon carriers out here just sitting in that field. Pretty cool. I'm gonna go over here and walk over to the visitor center and get a map so I can see where the burial mounds are, where the blood pond is. And I hear there are some bald eagles that have a nest right by the Native American burial mounds. Now, I don't think they're burial mounds. I think they're just living mounds. And they did say that they buried a whole bunch of dead people from the Civil War in the mounds. So we'll check that out. Okay, so I was down there and I was reading my personal memoirs of U.S. Grant book here that my wife got me for Father's Day here at Shiloh Battlefield. And the lady here, Naomi, who volunteers here at the park giving out maps, she was sitting here reading a book on Ulysses S. Grant too, because she's from Ohio.
Grant moves south.
Grant moves south. So we're two peas in a pod sitting here at Shiloh, both with our Grant books. We both are fans of Grant. Amazing right now with the rain, and you see these huge cannons were positioned right here off of the river and shooting down into this little ravine down here. And as they were coming right off of the river and putting the U.S. soldiers right here, you know, these were just blasting off down into this ravine down here. And wow, this place is just amazing. Shiloh Battlefield is just crazy. And it's crazy that the actual cannons that were used are still here. And they've kept them up all awesome. It's amazing. Wow. Okay, here I am at Bloody Pond. Now, I've read a lot about this pond here and the Battle of Shiloh. This pond has been here for a long time, and during the battle, after the first day, all the wounded came over here to clean their wounds in this pond. And there were just dead horses, dead mules, dead soldiers, just everywhere around here. Debris just littered everywhere. And right here in this spot, you had hundreds and hundreds of wounded soldiers cleaning their gunshot wounds, however they were hurt. And there was so much blood in this pond that it was covered in red. And it's been known as the Bloody Pond ever since then. And pretty crazy, you know. This battle here, the Battle of Shiloh, this pretty much cemented Ulysses S. Grant's, leadership in the Civil War. And he came in and didn't do good in the beginning, but he ended up winning this battle. And the Battle of Shiloh was the first time that General Grant started his Anaconda Plan. Now, the Anaconda Plan was to suffocate the enemy's, ability to get materials and stuff that helps them out. Their line of equipment and supplies coming in. The Anaconda Plan is to cut those lines of shipments off, to suffocate the enemy, so that way they had no supplies to help them in the war. And General Grant came up with that plan. Then he called it the Anaconda Plan. And here in the Battle of Shiloh was the first time that General Grant executed that plan, the Anaconda Plan. Now, what Grant was really good at and what he figured out was the Confederates, they attacked in small groups. They didn't come with the whole army. They would attack in small groups and make themselves look a lot bigger than they were. And Grant, right here after the Battle of Shiloh, he realized that to win this war, he needed to control the Mississippi, he needed to control the Tennessee River, he needed to control all those rivers. So he decided to go and attack the little small regiments of Confederate armies. And instead of going in one big spot and fight, after the Battle of Shiloh, he was like, no, no, no. We need to go, we need to get these guys when they're in small groups. And that's what he did, and that's what started the turn of the Civil War. As we're right here, steam coming off of the bloody pond here. Pretty amazing. I love this spot. This is probably my favorite spot now, is Shiloh. Shiloh's amazing. Amazing. So beautiful. Nobody's out here. I'm sure the snakes are going to start coming out now after the rain. Now it's hot. It got rained on. But everything's all steamy, kind of creepy around here. I love it. This is amazing. I'm just going to make a full loop around the bloody pond and walk around the whole thing. I'll take you on this little journey with me, and I'll stop talking and turn the camera around. But just go in your mind and imagine, 1862, April 6th, April 7th, 1862. All the soldiers around here, all hurt, fighting for America, right here. Bloody Pond, Shiloh. I'm Petro. That was Shiloh. It's amazing. I'm out.